We wanted to focus on ethics, and we thought the best way to talk about ethics is through storytelling, and hence the booklet. Yeah.
99 FM, this is your inspiration station. You're still tuned into Chelsea and Skrypt in the afternoon, and it's time for MYD Smart. And joining us today, this is the training facilitator and acting chief operating officer from the African Leadership Institute, Edla Kaumbi, to bring us on up to speed, rather, and just brief us on everything that has to do with the Institute's ethics project and recently published booklet. Firstly, good afternoon.
Hello.
And welcome to 99 FM.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the African Leadership Institute's ethics project?
Yes, so the African Leadership Institute itself is a training institute. We are passionate about equipping and developing leaders to transform Namibia, and we do transformational leadership, and in that, as an extension of that, we wanted to focus on ethics, and we thought the best way to talk about ethics is through storytelling, and hence the booklet. Yes.
Is that the inspiration? Is it I mean, booklets and books for us, some of us who are readers, it's definitely a way to get information. What was the inspiration behind it?
So we found that a lot of the times, like many of us, everybody agrees corruption is wrong, and we are outraged when we hear fish rot, and we hear all kinds of things. But, you know, it's easy to see it in others and not in ourselves. So when you see a story, it's easy to recognize a story. I mean, there's a story in the Bible. I know not everybody reads the Bible, but there was once a king who, like, he slept with his neighbor's wife, and then he killed the neighbor, and, you know, and he just went on with his life until some prophet came to tell him a story about, you know, a guy who had a little lamb, and, you know, this other rich guy had lots of sheep, but this rich guy wanted that guy's little lamb. And when this king heard the story, he was like outraged, and he's like, no, that guy needs to be killed. And then he says, but you're the guy. So so it comes from that, you know, in stories, it's easier to then see sort of the outrage in a story or the wrong in a story, and then hopefully the story is like a mirror, so you can see right and wrong.
Look back, have a look back at ourselves.
Yes.
And then like, have those honest conversations.
That's it, yes.
Just briefly, I know the booklet itself has nothing to do with lambs, I'm sure, but just briefly share with us some of the content and how it can be utilized by the public.
Yes. So we're very excited. Look, we went around, we got different stories from different people. I mean, stories from speeding, from littering on the beach, from, you know, just, cutting queues and things like that.
Everyday stories.
Yes, everyday stories, and actual stories of people here in our country. So we want people to read the stories, have dialogue, reflect on it, you know, have conversations at work, at schools, at home. Anybody should be, you know, everybody should be able to look at the stories and discuss them, whether it's in boardrooms or wherever. And start campaigns in their organizations as well. And
just you know, there's something interesting you said about reading and having an honest look, or rather looking in the mirror through literature. And I've always had this feeling, and maybe it's just me, but there's a lot more we can do as Namibians specifically, and I guess on a larger scale as Africans, in documenting and putting our experiences and our lives into literature. Because, you know, I'm a kid that's raised by the world to some degree, and you read all these stories and you relate to so few of them. Do you think this is something that can help inspire more literature as well, and booklets and people just telling their stories?
I would hope so. I hope so, because the way we wrote this, it's written in a way that's fun and that's engaging. So I think the way one tells a story makes it, you know, easy to engage or not. And so because these are everyday stories, because they're told in local Namibian language, that makes it exciting. So I think hopefully it inspires reading, and hopefully it inspires others to also want to write things.
And where can we get a hold of this booklet?
Yes, so this booklet is available at the African Leadership Institute. Our offices are at 344 Independence Avenue, next to the PwC office, opposite Girl Addicts in Independence Avenue. And you can email at secretary@ali.com.na. So secretary@ali.com.na. You can order a copy. The more you order, the cheaper it is. So if you want just one book, it's going to cost you $100. But if you buy 5, it's going to cost you to, I think, $50, and then more. It's like 100 or more. It's just 30.
Yeah.
So buy 100 books.
We love a discount.
Exactly.
We love a discount.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the insight on the booklet and most specifically the ethics project. And we can't wait to see it grow and manifest itself in so many different spaces. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me here and for the platform as well.
And if you are just joining us and you're wondering who that is, it's the training facilitator and acting chief operating officer from the African Leadership Institute, Edla Kaumbi. And that's everything you need to know about the Institute's ethics project. It's MYD Smart. If you are a reader like myself, get your hands on a copy or 100 for a good discount.
Yes, a very good discount.
MYD Smart on 99 FM.
MYD Smart was proudly sponsored by PwC Namibia.